What do you say when they ask you those questions like, oh my gosh, how long is your real hair? Is that your real hair? Because I'm telling you now, I get real snippy. I don't like it. And I get a little feisty now. I say something smart like, is that your real tan? Because it bothers me at this point. How do you maneuver it?
No, I usually, like, if I have weave-in and people are like, oh my God, your hair is so long, I'm like, oh, this isn't mine. Like, I was just making it to a joke, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay.
Right. Oh, you handle it so much more graceful than me, because I'm like, is that your real color? Welcome back to another episode of Love Really. It's me, Keydra, the entertainment editor here at the Tylt, and my co-host, Savage. Really? Anyway. All right, you guys. So we had a very special episode this week. I sat down with Meka at Married at First Sight. And if you guys know anything about me, you know I love Married at First Sight. It's a show on Lifetime. They actually just started airing new episodes on Netflix. And it's a show basically about arranged marriage. Two people meet at the altar and they actually get legally married. And then they play it out over the course of maybe, 12 weeks or something like that. And at the end, they have to decide whether or not they want to stay married or get a divorce. And they're all matched up by experts. And, it's really cool. So that's like one of my favorite shows right now. We interviewed Meka. She had a very tumultuous time on the show. Her husband, Michael, was a liar. It was just a lot of drama and a lot of unnecessary nonsense. So I sat down with her and we got into a really good conversation about, marriage, monogamy, hair. Meka was rocking her natural hair on the show. It's a really big thing for women, especially women of color, is just be able to wear your natural hair. We talked about dating apps. Who's Meka dating now? We also got into, some of the controversy on the show. One of the couples ended up in court, y'all. Child, this show is juicy, okay? So we're going to get into the interview right now with Meka. I'm Keydra. I'm the entertainment editor here at the Tylt. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
So Married at First Sight. This season was very, very explosive. I've been watching it, for maybe about 4 seasons now consistently. And I think this has been like the most dramatic and craziest one.
Yes, I would agree.
What made you want to get on the show?
Well, it's funny because I used to always joke, like I would watch this show with my ex-boyfriend and I would always joke and say, I would do this. Like I would be on Married at First Sight. Yeah. And I truly meant it. Like I believed in the process. Like I thought it was a good experiment. Like I thought it was a good idea. So when I found out they were filming in DC, it just seemed only right. I was single. I wasn't really seeing anybody seriously. And I was like, I'm ready to be married. I love the show. I love the premise. I'm in a point in my life where I feel like I'm ready to be married. So let's go for it.
Oh my gosh. And you were married. You were matched with Michael. And Michael was a little unconventional, how can we say? And he did like a lot of fabricating things.
Yes.
So Michael just couldn't, it just seems like he had an inability to just be like flat out honest about like very basic things. And you had a really hard time navigating that. You didn't really know how to combat that. What do you think about it now that it's all over?
Now that it's all over, obviously I'm happy that it's over. I'm happy that I no longer have to go through that. But it truly was triggering being in that situation. And I didn't really know how bad I was triggered until I was able to get out of it and go to therapy and like identify my triggers and to understand why I had such a hard time, like doing basic things or like trying to move past the lies or trying to start fresh. So it was hard when I was in it. It literally was one of the hardest things I ever did. Like not even just the lies, but the inability to take accountability and come clean when confronted. Like it literally drove me crazy to see somebody constantly say, no, I would never say that to you. And they're like so calm. And I'm like, you literally just said this to me. Like, and it literally makes you feel like you're going crazy.
Oh, what was the first lie that he said that really struck you?
The first lie was him saying that he never gave me a honeymoon ultimatum. I think that was the biggest one. Like, I learned later that there were like white lies before that. And even knowing those white lies, I don't think they really bothered me. But to pressure me into sex and to say that I have to have sex with you in a time frame and then to get on camera and lie about it, like that is when I was like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, who did I get matched with?
Yeah. Do you think do you understand at all why the experts matched you with Michael, or you don't know?
No, I do get it, because Michael portrayed himself as somebody who was a good match for me. He portrayed himself as somebody who was honest and somebody who was literally in a stable point in their life, who was ready to take this next step, who could communicate and who would be open and who would be sweet. Like, I get it. They thought we would be like a Deanna and a Greg, where I was hard on the outside, but he would soften me up. Like, I get the logic behind what they thought were going to happen. And honestly, if Michael had been honest, we would have never been matched. It would have never worked if they had known the true Michael. It would not have worked out, and they knew it wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah. So he kind of played the system, you think?
100%. And the thing about it is, sometimes, like when I get a lot of questions of, well, how do you feel about the experts now? And I'm like, Michael not only fooled the experts, but he fooled all of my family and friends, and he fooled America for a very long time. So I don't blame them at all. Like, this is who he is. He has the ability to come off a certain way and to change up his demeanor and really suck people into have you thinking like, oh my God, he's such a sweet guy. Like, why is Meka so mean? Like, he is literally everything she asks for. Like, I don't get it.
Right. What was his sign?
He's a Taurus.
I didn't see that coming. I thought it was I'm like, I know he's a Pisces. Okay, he's Taurus. Never mind. There goes that theory. What do you think about what do you think about arranged marriage though in this modern time? Like, do you believe in it? Like the experiment that Married at First Sight is doing?
I do believe in it. I think it's not the experiment that's flawed. It's the people that sign up that don't have genuine intentions that make the experiment flawed. Like, if people actually wanted to be married, didn't want TV time, didn't have 1,000 issues that they're still trying to work out. Like, if people really came in it when they were prepared for marriage and they did it for genuine reasons, I think the experiment could work.
Yeah. Speaking of genuine reasons, you were really close with Taylor on the show. And there was a lot of slack with her. Brandon, who she was matched with, said that she was basically one of those people you just described, saying that she came on the show for clout or for attention to boost her career. You guys were close, so what do you think?
I don't agree with that. I don't think she came on the show for any reason other than to be married, just like most of us.
Right. They ended up in like a court situation. I know that we can't really like get into it because of all like the legality of it all. But what did you think of their relationship when they were together? Did you see them as a match like during the good times, or do you think they were just always oil and water?
It's hard to say because we experienced the other couples from the outside looking in. So on the honeymoon, I thought they were a great match. Like, I remember thinking during the honeymoon, like, oh my gosh, I'm literally in a worse situation. Like, all of these other couples are like getting along. They're like able to have, even Mindy and Zach, who like later on learned that they weren't in the best place, but they were still able to sit down and have a conversation and at least act like they were both wanting to be in the experiment. So I remember thinking that about Brandon and Taylor. Like, look at them, like they're so cute. And like, even during the honeymoon, me and Taylor had a conversation where I was like, I am just feeling so defeated. Like, I love the fact that all of you guys are doing well in your relationship, and I don't ever want you to feel like I don't want you guys to be happy, but it just sucks because I also wanted that for myself. Like, I came into this because that's what I wanted. And I remember her telling me, like, we have our issues too. Like, everything is not what it seems from the outside. So yeah, right now, like, we're getting along and it's okay, but I still have the things that I'm cautious about. So I just think their relationship, when it was good, it was good. And when it was bad, it was really bad. Like a classic toxic situation. It just was not a good situation for either of them.
I kind of, I'm a big fan of this show. I have to say, I've watched it for a few years, and I honestly kind of thought this season was maybe, I'm like, is this a joke a little bit? Because the rest of the seasons, I felt like people took it a little bit more serious, and I kind of felt like, I'm like, did the producer set y'all up? Because Zach and Mindy, I knew wasn't going to work from the beginning. It was obviously he wasn't into her, but then aside from him not being into her, he had his own set of things going on, like the inability to just have a sentence. So what do you think about them, and what did you see about their relationship?
I can't really speak to anybody's intentions because I don't really know, but it just seems like some people enter this experiment and either they don't fully know what they're signing up for, or they just want TV time, which sucks because I just feel like there's a lot easier ways to get on TV rather than marrying somebody. Like,
right.
a lot of us take this seriously. Like, we don't want to get divorced. We didn't come into this to be matched with somebody who didn't do this for genuine reasons. So I feel for Mindy, and I felt for Mindy from the beginning. Like, when she told me that he just flat out was like, I'm not attracted to you. Like, I don't even think he really gave the experiment time. I don't even think he really put his best foot forward or really tried. Like, he from the beginning had determined this is not going to work. And I just don't think that that's how it's supposed to work. A lot of us had every reason to not want to show up and to not want to do this, but we committed to it. So you do it anyway, even when it's hard and even when it's challenging.
You do it anyway. Were you attracted to Michael?
I was not originally attracted to Michael when I first saw him, but I was very open and honest with the experts in that I believe attraction can grow. So it didn't bother me when I wasn't attracted to him when I first saw him.
What do you look for in a mate, like physically? What are you attracted to?
I get this question a lot, and I don't think I really have a physical type. Mm-hmm. Like, I always say that what Michael is basically what I described to the experts, but he still just wasn't my type. So I don't even think I can put it into words exactly what I'm looking for.
What did you learn about yourself from the marriage and the situation?
I learned, the number one thing I learned is how harsh my delivery can come off. That was something that was very hard for me to watch back and to know that in those moments I could have been better and I should have been better, but I wasn't. So I think that was a big thing that I learned about myself, is working on my delivery. I think throughout the entire season, like, besides my delivery, my messages always made sense. And I would look back at them and I'm like, yes, I love your message, but how far would that message have gotten if you could have been calm when you said it? Yeah. So, like, that was like the number one thing. And number two is I learned patience. That I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have so much patience. Like, how did you do it?
Yeah, like, to be honest, I didn't even think your delivery was wrong. I didn't think your delivery was wrong at all, because it's just like, to have someone blatantly lie to your face, it is frustrating and it is very disrespectful. So I thought that your reactions were warranted, because it's okay for you to get frustrated and mad because you know someone's blatantly trying to pull the wool over your eye, girl. So I thought your delivery was fine, because I could have handled it. Like, did you see the season before when the girl flipped the table over?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I've been flipping some tables.
And at times in my head, I was like, flipping the table in my head, but I was like, I can't do that in real life. So I feel her.
You had right to do it. I mean, listen, sometimes flipping the table, as long as you don't hurt nobody, make you feel bad. So you think that you do think that you were personally ready for marriage? You felt like you were in a good place as far as your career and like mentally and all that?
I do. And it's not even that like I was perfect or I was 100% ready. It's just that I was willing to make the commitment to be better. Like, if people watch me throughout the season, the things that Michael called out early on, I genuinely made an effort to try to change those. And if you pay close attention, you'll see me doing things like literally sitting on my hands because I didn't want to use my hands because he said that it intimidated him, or trying to be calm in conversations because he said that these were things that bothered him about me. So like, I was ready in that sense. I knew I wasn't perfect, but I was willing to take whatever constructive criticism I got and really try to apply it to make my partner happy.
What about his aunt? Y'all had like a really or his sister, you had a really eye-opening discussion where she was kind of telling you why she thought that Michael was the way he was, as far as like, you know, his upbringing, like, you know, not having a mom. Like, since the episode has aired, have you spoke to her? Like, has that been a follow-up conversation?
No, I haven't spoken to any of Michael's family at all. I'm not really sure. I know Michael's version of what happened with the show is very different than what actually happened in real life. So I imagine he's telling his family that it's something else and they think that I'm at fault. But I don't know.
Why they never reached out? Do you and Michael still even talk?
Me and Michael have not spoken at all since the reunion. His family has not reached out to me at all. The only person I would say I even really had a relationship with was his sister. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she hasn't reached out. I haven't talked to her.
Wow. What does your family think about the relationship?
My family supports whatever I want. Like, my family, it was hard for my family to watch me go through that on TV. Like, because they know what I have to bring to the table, and they know the type of person I am. And to see me in that state, like, my family was like, no, you deserve better. Like, you don't deserve a man who's going to do those things to you. Like, absolutely. And I think my family would have been mad had I stayed with Michael.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It was very clear. This is a reality TV show. So I have to ask the question, was this real? Like, was this a real situation? Do you think, was this real, basically?
Yes. It's so funny that people are going around saying that the entire show is scripted, because it's not. Like, it's real. If you can watch that show and see these emotions that I go through and think that somehow I was able to, like, fake that, like, these are my real emotions that I was feeling in real time. Like, I was going through these things, and it's hard. Like, and it's like beyond me that people think it's fake, because I would not sign up to do that for fun. Like, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to go through what I went through.
Right. There's a really awful stigma about Black women in particular on reality TV that I hate, but it's a thing, so I want to address it. That reality TV makes us as a whole look bad, but if you look at, like, the Kardashians, no one's going to ever say they make white people look bad, or they make, so what do you think about that? What do you think about women of color, particularly Black women on reality TV? Do you think it makes us all look bad?
I don't think that reality TV makes Black women look bad. I think the stigma and the stereotypes that I've even experienced myself, where they come in is the viewers. It's not the producer saying, we want to make you into an angry Black woman, but it's the viewers looking at me being frustrated and never being an angry Black woman, never being aggressive. But since that's the stereotype that's been put into America's head, saying, oh, you're an angry Black woman, oh, you're aggressive, oh, you're mean, oh, you're all these things that I'm not, because they've never either they've never really seen a Black woman speak up for themselves, or they're intimidated by a Black woman who knows what she wants and can say, no, I'm not going to accept it. So I think it's mainly like just, it's bigger than just reality TV. Like, it's a thing in America and in the world that we just need to deal with and fix, because it's not fair. It's not fair that I get labeled as an angry Black woman, where, let's be honest, if a white woman did the same exact thing I did, they would not be labeled as an angry white woman.
Right.
They would be frustrated, and it would be warranted. They would be able to get away with that because we understand, we sympathize with you. Like, oh, you're in this situation and we feel bad. But, like, as a Black woman, we don't get sympathy. And it's like the truth. It's not fair. Like,
Did you get that criticism? Did people really call you an angry Black woman?
Absolutely. I got it a lot.
Really? Even though that they saw the situation?
I'm still getting angry Black woman to this day, and the entire season has played out.
How did you cope with that? Like, emotionally, did it bother you at all, or did it make you look back at yourself and say, am I an angry Black woman?
It was hard. It was hard. Like, the first couple episodes when I was seeing all these things, because in real life, usually when I meet people, I just get along with people. Like, I can go anywhere. I can go into Walmart right now and I'll meet a friend. Like, that's just the type of person that I am. So it never even crossed my mind that people would hate me the way that they hated me. And when I saw it, I was just like, it made me sad. And of course I questioned myself. Like, I called my mom, I called my best friends, and I'm like, am I mean? Am I miserable? Like, did you guys just not tell me this whole time? Like, have you just allowed me to live my life being mean and aggressive and never said it to me? And it took my support system and it took therapy for me to realize, like, no matter what, even if I was 100% perfect, people are still going to find fault in it. And so from there, I realized, like, at the end of the day, I can't please everybody. Right. I did the best that I could given the situation I was in. And if that was not good enough for people, then those are not the type of people I want supporting me anyway.
Period. And it's okay for you to be angry, especially when someone is literally poking at you. Like, that's like insane. How did you, I have to say that I loved, if anything, once, like, your whole situation was like getting on my nerves because it was so redundant. I just loved watching your hair and how you switched it up and you kept giving us looks the entire season. We had bundles flowing. We had natural twist outs going. Talk about, like, your hair and, like, getting ready and things like that for the camera. Like, how did you decide? How did you maneuver your honeymoon wearing bundles? Like, like, talk about that a little bit.
Honestly, it was hard. But the honeymoon, I specifically chose to get bundles or a weave because that's just what I do when I go on vacation. I never really wear my natural hair on vacation because I know how much maintenance it takes. And on vacation, I don't want to have to wake up and do a twist out or take out a twist out. Like, I want to wake up and I want to go. So I knew that I had to do something that would be easy for me to maintain on a honeymoon. But I'm natural. 90% of the time I have my natural hair. So
yeah.
I tried to switch it up, but it was hard because with the filming hours and working, I really didn't have time to do my hair the way I wanted to. So a lot of my styles are just like the easiest styles that didn't take a lot of like overnight time to dry.
Yeah. No, I could totally relate. Something that I used to think about all the time was, you know, as a Black girl, we switch our hair up. We don't even think twice about it. But I know that being in corporate America, I would think like, dang, I went to work on Wednesday with my curly. Now I'm coming in with braids, or no, I'm coming in a weave. Did you ever like think about that, or are you over that, or how do you feel about that? That's something that we go through.
I still think about that. Like, if I wear a wig, I won't switch it until the weekend for that very reason. Like, just because I want by Monday people to forget that my hair was long on Friday.
Oh, I respect it. Yeah. No,
which it shouldn't be that way, but you know, you just get the questions of, oh my God, your hair is so long, or oh my God, did you cut your hair? Or
yeah.
And sometimes I just don't feel like answering the questions.
Isn't that crazy what we have to go through? Because I don't think anyone else has to go through that.
No, they don't.
What do you say when they ask you those questions like, oh my gosh, how long is your real hair? Is that your real hair? Because I'm telling you now, I get real snippy. I don't like it. And I get a little feisty now. I say something smart like, is that your real tan? Because it bothers me at this point. How do you maneuver it?
No, I usually, like, if I have weave-in and people are like, oh my God, your hair is so long, I'm like, oh, this isn't mine. Like, I was just making it to a joke, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay.
Right. Oh, you handle it so much more graceful than me, because I'm like, is that your real color? So you said you were thinking about doing reality TV again. Could we see you on like a Bachelor, or like, you know, MTV has like a lot of really cool shows like Are You the One and like things like that? Would you do something like that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how those shows are created or like how these people are scouted. Mm-hmm. But my biggest fear is like going through what I went through again. So if there's a chance that I'm going to be in a situation like that again, I just wouldn't risk it. It's not worth it for me.
And are you dating right now? Did I ask you? Are you dating right now?
No, I'm not dating. I am not wanting to date. I'm enjoying my life the way it is without a man. So
really?
Maybe later at some point.
Did it turn you off from dating?
No, it's just that I don't really want to date. Like, I either want to find my person or I want to be single. Like, I don't want to go on multiple dates. I don't want to like get to know people and then we don't work out. It's just like dating is like a full-time job, and
it's hard.
I just don't really have time for it right now.
Do you do like dating apps or anything like that, or would you be open to it?
I have done dating apps in the past, and I've actually met some quality people from dating apps. So I would get on a dating app.
Have you tried like Tinder or Bumble?
I've tried Tinder, and I've only tried Bumble for like female friends. I've never tried the one where you meet like people to date.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that, okay, at the Tylt, we're all about debates and like asking questions and just getting feedback from Gen Z and millennials. So one of our debates right now, I'm under our culture section, should you live with someone before getting married? What do you think about that?
Yes. I think that that's something that you need to test out before you're married. And you need to know like how you guys are going to coexist, because you don't want to get married and then find out that living with this person, there's like deal breakers or things that you like literally can't tolerate. I think it's better to hash those things out before you get married. That's
fair. And what about being monogamous? You know, monogamy is hard. And I think about it too, because I was thinking about you. I'm like, okay, you're 25, 26?
26.
26. And I was just thinking like, dang, Meka's 26. That means if she finds someone that she likes, she's gonna be with them. God willing, we live that long for like 60 years. That's a long time. Like, God willing, we make it that long. Could you see yourself being with the same person because we live in a long time, 60, 50 years?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I want. I can't see myself for 60 years going to different men. Like, that is bizarre. Like,
the same, like this, like the same face, the same,
same everything.
You're ready for that at 26?
Yes.
Perspective. I love it. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I feel like we covered a lot of ground. Are you gonna watch next season? I think it's New Orleans. Are you gonna watch?
I don't know. I want to watch because I want to support other women that have that are going through what I've went through.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It might just be too triggering. It might be too much time a week. Like, I have so many things I'm trying to accomplish right now. I don't know if I'll really have time. So we'll see.
What are you working on now?
I'm just working on a way that I can inspire women. Like, I think that's what I want to use my platform for. I want to inspire women to know their worth, to never settle, to like be a girl boss, to go out and do whatever it is that you set out to accomplish. And I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to accomplish. So in whatever way that I can do that, in whatever way I could be of assistance to women, like I've had so many people reach out to me and just say, I like am inspired by you. I'm so glad that you did this.
God.
Like, I was able to relate to you so much. I've been in a situation similar to yours. So I just want to let women know that you don't have to settle and you don't have to be okay with a man giving you whatever you want. Like, if you are not happy, you can walk away.
I love that. Thank you so much, Meka, for talking to me. That was a perfect way to end. I wish you like all the best. You're super dope. Your hair, your inspiration with your hair is spreading that Black girl magic. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Asha.
I'm sorry, I'm eating.
Really?
So unprofessional.
Say hi to Auntie Asha.
I hate cats, but I like this one.
Asha. He does not want to be.
It's actually very cute.
All right, so basically, Meka, we covered a lot of topics. She's a really smart girl. She was really fun to talk to. I felt like she was really transparent. We talked about hair. We talked about monogamy. We talked about dating apps. Just a little bit of clarity. When I first met Asha, I thought she had no hair because she had these braids in, and then long braids, and it was just interesting. And then she was like, yeah, this is my first time getting braids. And I'm like, girl, you're Black. Like, how was it your first time getting braids?
And now I get to listen.
I was like, oh, she must not have any hair. That's why she's trying this protective style. Oh, but honey, she took them braids out, and the joke was on me because them tresses are long, honey. Like, that hair is good and full. Them edges are plentiful. Jesus bless you.
Not today, but I'm trying. It's quarantine. I gotta bear with me today. It's all natural.
Girl, listen, good and plentiful. The joke was on me. So we talked about that, and then we also talked about dating apps, which I know I have a lot of experience with. Do you have experience with dating apps?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I also think there's a lot of nuance with that conversation, especially when you're on dating apps as a Black woman. That's why now I'm banned. Like, I banned myself from them. The first time I got on Tinder, someone told me that what was the exact quote? He loved my skin, and he wanted to do like a jungle fever thing. It's like sad.
He loves your chocolate Black skin, but he wanted to reenact jungle fever, basically.
Yeah, and I was just like, let me look this up to make sure I know what this is. So I was like, let me check myself, because sometimes may slip. And I looked it up, and I was like, sure enough, yeah,
this is problematic.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Dating apps. So I hate dating apps, but I feel like because we're in New York, because I asked Meka, I said, girl, like, are you on them? She said, yeah, she's met good people. For me, I don't like dating apps, but at the same time, I think living in New York, it's a little bit harder to find people. People wouldn't think that because it's New York, it's so many people, it's popping. But I feel like New York people are really cliquey, and it's like, where are you going to meet someone? At the bar? And I feel like the bar scenes, the bars, they're weird because it's like there are regulars. Do you really want to date a X, Y, and Z bar regular? I know here in Harlem, like a lot of times when I go out, I see the same people. I don't know that I want to date the bar regular.
No, yeah, that's definitely a fair point, especially being in New York. I think there's this common misconception that there's love all around you just because there's so many people, but that's not the case. Finding love here is like finding a Metro card with money on it, and that's just
really. I was watching her did a video with Skip Marley, Bob Marley's son. It's such a cute video, and they did it in Harlem. They actually did it on the subway on 135th. Girl, this video makes the train romance look like a thing you would want to desire. But I know that train station, I know it smells like piss. I know that train had at least one displaced person on it that does not smell. Because first of all, there was no one on the train car. But you know that the train cars with no one on it, you know you don't get on that one because that's the one that smells the worst.
Yeah, that one either has pee on it or has random tints.
And literally nothing about the train is romantic or cute. So it was just, that video was funny because I'm like, oop, y'all tried to really make the metro train a situation, a love thing, and it's never sexy. Like, love on the train is never sexy.
I've never seen someone hit on someone on a train.
Because wouldn't you be creeped out? Like, I think
I'd be a little creeped out if I'm
yeah.
Because New York, you're always so heads down.
Yes. Yeah.
Go. And if someone's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, have your number?" It's like,
no.
I don't know. I never considered it. It's kind of weird, but maybe it's romantic. I don't know.
It's not romantic at all. So that's why I have done some dating apps. We talked about this before. My favorite dating app is BLK. It's a Black dating app. It's called BLK, you guys. And it's my favorite dating app because when you swipe like that you don't want that person, it says nah.
I just cannot. That's probably the only dating app I have not tried.
And it's all Black people, but then when you see a white person on there, I'm like, oh hell no, he's into fetishes. Like,
criticizing you,
yeah.
Dating apps are just they're not reliable because sometimes I think the worst part about dating apps is you'll see someone and you'll think he's cute, but he's surrounded by, or she, that could happen to
yeah.
And they're just surrounded by so many people in every photo, and you're like, which one's which?
Yeah, right. Why do they do that? Or why do they post pictures when
because they know that they are not the cute friend in the group, unfortunately.
I mean, you're not wrong. Or when people post a picture of themselves on a dating app and next to them is a person, they'll put like a smiley face on that person, like an emoji. Oh, you're a serial killer. Like, why would you do that?
It's like the epitome of cropping someone out and their arm is still in the photo.
Yes. What do you think about monogamy? Do you think that you could be with someone? It's impossible. I think it's impossible to be with one person for like 60 years. I don't even think that's healthy, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know. I think I have an interesting perspective on this because I've never had a boyfriend. Like, never, not once in my entire life.
Oh my gosh, you told the people. I didn't want to put your business out there. I didn't want to tell them that you never been doing it.
That's all right. Yeah, so I never had a boyfriend, but I really did start getting into dating like last year a little bit. And just like, talking to people and flirting is my favorite thing to do. As far as monogamy, I think, yeah, why not? If you find the right person, I feel like the only reason why I would say I'd be against monogamy is because most of the people I've met through my dating experiences have been awful.
Trash.
But I mean, I'm pretty awful too at times, so maybe it's me. Maybe I have the problem. Self-awareness. We love growth.
It could never be you. Is cheating a deal breaker for you?
Oh my God, absolutely. There are a lot of deal breakers though. Absolutely. Cheating, 100%. You're out the door.
That's not a deal breaker for me. You know what is a deal breaker for me? Lying. That would drive me crazy.
Well, that's what cheating is.
But I mean other types of lies. I mean, I believe that someone could cheat and still love their partner. I think those two things can exist at the same time. Your favorite phrase. I think that's a thing. But when you just like blatantly lie about things, like in Love at First Sight, how Michael just blatantly lied about so many things, that I couldn't deal with. I couldn't deal with the lie. That's why I don't date Pisces men anymore, because I feel like all Pisces can do is lie. Because it's different types of cheating. If it's like emotional cheating, then that's kind of done. But if it's just like a hookup, I don't know that I would be like, you gotta go. Because what if I did it? I would want that person to still be with me.
No, I mean, I hear what you're saying from your perspective, but I would never cheat. I'm just putting that out there. I do not believe in cheating. I do not think it is okay. And I think I grew up with my mom telling me, what did she say? She said it's not about someone loving you. They have to also respect you.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I think if you would cheat on someone, that's not respecting them.
But it was just one time. What if it was just one time?
Well, it's gonna be a one time and a last time because it's over. I don't play that.
You know what I wouldn't do? We talked about this a lot on the show. If someone cheated on me while I was pregnant, that's a no-go.
That is disgusting. I think it's the worst thing you can do to a woman.
It is, because it's like, that's like a woman's most vulnerable time. That's when like you have to show I'm real big on loyalty, and that's when you have to show your loyalty and like your love the most, is when like a woman is with child. For a man, I guess that time would be, I don't know, maybe when he was like balding or something. Maybe that's like his most vulnerable time. When that hairline starts to go back here. But that is a deal breaker for me. If you cheat on me when I'm pregnant, then you're like the scum of the earth to me.
Cheating for sure in that scenario, absolutely. I also, what's a deal breaker for me is people who are rude to wait staff.
I'm crying. Well, that goes with your character. Yeah, that just says like you're a bad person in general. You like people like that, like kick kids and like pinch babies. Seriously.
I mean, I hate kids, but I was a server for like 3 hours.
I know
I know how hard that job is. I've worked at Jekyll and Hyde in the West Village. It's a very, very traumatic experience for me. I told you the story of the guy, and he was like, I was like, how do you want your burger cooked, sir? And he was like, on a fire. And I was like, no, how do you want your burger cooked? And he was like, on a grill. And when I tell you, I took that apron off so quick.
I know you did.
I got my bag. I said, I'm out of here. I'll just be broke. It's just like, absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, my waitressing days don't even take me back, but I just had a moment. But no, I just think that, I think there are worse. Like if you're a serial cheater, that's different. But just like if it happened like once in like the 60 years that we've been together, I feel like if that was like a thing, there would be no marriages in the world. There would be no children, because everyone would just break up. Because in 60 years, you had sex with one person, like I'm not gonna like sweat you over that.
I mean, I think it's also a case by case basis for sure, but I don't know. I just feel like if you cheat on someone, you're more than likely gonna do it again. That's
the only thing that's dangerous, and especially for women, because men can't handle being cheated on. They'll leave in a heartbeat. But women, we we take it a little bit more.
We take everything a little bit more.
This is true.
As a woman, in general.
This is true.
Men are very weak. Sorry. This
is true. So what do you think about hair? Meka gave us so many cute looks with her hair. And we talked, like, she's a natural girl. So she does like twist outs and things. And we talked about, girl, what's it like when you go to work? Because she works in a very corporate environment. And I know there's been time when she's had braids or she's had a weave or a wig in. And then, you got to wash your hair over the weekend. You come in on Monday. And, particularly the white people in the office are like, girl, what happened to your hair? Or the opposite, you come in with braids. Like, what kind of questions did you get when you took your braids out when you first started at work?
Yes. You remember that story?
I don't, but I know there's a story.
Yeah, there's a story. So it was the old, what was he? Executive, editorial, whatever. Whatever. It was a leader. And the first time I came to a particular job, I had braids. My first time wearing braids, I was already so nervous. I was like, oh my God, what if they try to touch my hair? It's going to be so weird, but it was fine.
Yeah.
I took my braids out after about a month or two, and I wore my natural hair. It was just straightened. And he goes, did your hair get longer or something? And I just said to myself, what's going on? But I feel like it's way more common than people think, because
it is.
I think you've seen it in action that people have like touched my hair, my natural hair.
Yeah.
Or more. They'll just dig into it.
Ask if that's your real hair. That's very rude, because again, like, I feel like a lot of time white people are very fascinated by black hair, and it's just so interesting to me. I don't understand why, because we all have the same Google is free. I'm not interested in anyone else's hair.
Nope,
like, I've never I've never walked up to a white woman, an Indian woman, a Asian woman, and wanted to touch their hair, ask them if it's real, ask them how they get it like that. Like, I'm just not interested, and I think it's like kind of rude. It's kind of like,
it is rude.
It's very rude, and it's unnecessary because we have the same Google, and it's like, why? I guess my question is, why are you so curious? And at this point, it's 2020, so either you don't have enough Black friends, or either you're just so like self-absorbed, you've never paid attention to anyone else before, and now instead of doing the independent research, or you don't need to know the answer to every question. Maybe it's not your business.
Yeah, I mean, it's a frustrating topic. I've had to deal with it a lot of times, and I often regret the situation because I didn't handle it like I thought that I would in those scenarios. You're just so caught off guard, you don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
But I remember watching this one scene of How to Get Away with Murder, and someone tried to touch Annalise Keating's hair, played by Viola Davis, and she just did the best, like, little switch, like a little, and I was like, next time that happens, that's what I'm gonna do, because there will be a next time.
I think my response moving forward is just gonna be something snarky, like, is that your real tan? Or are those your real eye colors? Is that your real eye color? Or something like that, like, just to divert, because it's just like, at this point, it's a problem, and I don't have time.
It's weird.
I'm busy. Like, I remember I worked at one place, and the first 15 minutes of the meeting was about my hair. And it's like, is this a joke? Why? Or once I had braids, I had braids at another job, and I took them out, and my boss was like, oh my gosh, I like your hair so much better like that. And it was like in a bun. I don't care how you like my hair, Penelope. I never asked you. I hate those spider earrings that you wear. I hate those roach earrings that you wear every day. But do I comment? No.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I don't care how you prefer my hair to be.
They often say, like, when your hair is not natural. My hair's natural. Our hair's natural. But when we wear it straight, it's usually considered more beautiful.
Yeah.
What is that? Eurocentric form?
Yeah.
European form.
Yeah.
In those beauty standards. But I like my natural hair. And
Love it.
Want to have other little Black girls who are growing up to love their hair too. Because when I was growing up, I hated my hair. I hated it. I just wanted to straighten it. I was like, I don't understand. Why is it so freaking curly? I don't like it. And so now I feel like what I try to do is when I talk to, like my niece and other young Black kids, I make sure to tell them, I love your hair. It's beautiful. Yeah. I want them to feel good.
No, for sure. Because, it's a thing, and it's really unfortunate because, being younger, I started getting a relaxer really young. And, the only reason that Black people even would get relaxers in the first place is because it made our hair more natural. A relaxer takes our kinky texture and makes it straight. So, with my kinky hair now, if you wet it, it's going to be like an afro. But with a relaxer, if you wet it, it's going to crinkle up a little bit, but not as it would if, and I'm obviously explaining this for people who don't know, not you, but it wouldn't crinkle up as much. It wouldn't get as curly with the relaxer. And, we're just seeing so many links to cancer now with relaxers. And literally, I remember getting scabs in my scalp, and it was just a thing. It was a part of the process, but it was just to, fit into white society and make white people feel more comfortable. Because if I come into your space with my afro, then you're going to feel initially intimidated by my hair. And it's just my hair and the way it grows out of my head. I'm sorry that it defies gravity. It is what it is. So that's why I think hair is such a special topic for us, especially when it pertains to us changing it, because, for so long we were literally punishing ourselves to have bone straight hair to fit into society, into white society. And I'm so happy that now we're breaking away and we're rocking our natural buns, our natural edges, gelled down.
Mine are not gelled today, honey. So I'm representing the people who don't have time.
And that's okay. It don't have to be bone straight. Even when I used to wear my bun, I used to kill myself to get my bones split.
I said, you know what?
What?
Yeah, for who?
So that's why hair is such a big thing for us. And, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love the thickness of my hair. I never have to worry about, oh my gosh, is my hair gonna have enough volume? That's not a thing.
So dull. Yeah.
Or be dull. It's always vibrant and big and full of life. And, you know, we don't have to worry about getting lice. That's not a thing for us.
Oh, I forgot about lice. Yeah.
Black people don't get lice. Like,
it said, no, not touching y'all here.
it's just great, you know? It's just a great thing. Thank you so much for joining me and for talking about these very important conversations. I can't wait to talk to you again next week.
Thanks for having me. I always love exploring all these different topics. And my final thing to say is, do not touch Black women's hair or any Black person's hair, period. Don't do it. It's disgusting. And we don't like that.
Period. Period, Pooh. And that's my period. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode of Love Really. It's me, Keydra, the entertainment editor here at the Tylt. And thank you so much, Asha, for sitting down with me and having some really good conversation about hair. Don't touch our hair. Thank you guys so much again. And tune in next week to another episode of Love Really. It's Keydra signing off.